Hi, Perry Lawrence here again, and we are doing anything with WordPress, anything and everything. And today we're going to go through the settings of a WordPress site. I'm on a fresh install. I'm working off doanythinghub.com, which is a HostGator install. So that comes pretty plain. It does come with Mojo Marketplace. We'll talk about that. And it also does come with WP Super Cache. We'll talk about both of those in a later episode. Right now, though, we are going to talk about basic settings for WordPress that are going to make your life a whole lot easier. So we're just going to go down through these tabs. We're going to start at the General tab and work all the way through these down through permalinks, and we're going to set up our WordPress site. So the site title, this is the text title, whatever you want to call this, this will show up. A lot of these features and a lot of these things like a site title, site logo, etc., are handled by the theme. Right now, we are working on a very generic theme, the default theme for WordPress. So just so you can see how these all come up. So let's go ahead and tag this do anything with WordPress. Demo site for doing, that's my tagline. All right, so WordPress address, that's the URL. Site address, now this is interesting. You can actually install your WordPress on a subfolder. For example, doanythinghub.com/WordPress, and then have the site address access those files through the root. If you want any more information, click here. You can see all of the good stuff that it's got, giving WordPress its own directory. But suffice it to say, what you do here is you can define your root URL and then have all your of your WordPress files reside in a subdomain if you don't want to clutter up your root folder. I've never used that. Don't think I'm going to. Email address. Address is for admin, so you can get new user notifications, etc. Now, membership. Now, if you want to allow people to register, you would click this, and then you can just set the default management role, or the default user role, I should say. But again, a lot of this kind of stuff is going to be handled later on through plugins or themes, etc. I don't want anybody to register for this site here in particular. I'm going to set my time zone, and it's going to be New York. There we go, New York. Set the date format. If you're in Europe, you're going to want to change this. If you're in the US or the West, you're going to leave that where it is. Different varieties. You can also customize it to be anything you want. Exact same idea with the time formatting. Day of the week. My day starts on a Sunday. And then since the HostGator install does come with Mojo, we've got some things that are already set up. I'm going to leave those just as is. Save changes before I go on to the next tab. All right, so now we're going to go to the writing tab. Now, the way they've got this organized is anything that has to do with writing is under writing, and anything that has to do with reading or what your users see is under the reading tab. Very nice, very easy way to figure out where some settings are. First of all, it asks you if you would like to convert your emoticons to graphics display. I'm going to leave that as is. Default post category. If you've got categories set up, which you will eventually, what's the default? I like to leave the default as uncategorized. You can set this up to be anything you want based on the categories you set under posts. All right, default post format. I'm going to leave that as standard. Never have worried and changed that. Post via email. This is very interesting. You can actually post from your email. What you would do is you would define your email server, which would be probably mailyourdomain.com, the login name, and you will want to create a very unique login name, and then the password to get to that mail account. And so what WordPress does is it pings that account to see if there's anything in there. What it will do is it will pull anything in that it finds there. Update services. As soon as you make a post, this is going to send out a little ping to Ping-O-Matic. We're going to save those changes. And then we're going to go on down to reading. Now this is fun. Typically on a traditional blog, what you're going to have is your latest posts will be on the front page, and you'll see a string of these, whatever the top 5, 10, whatever you set actually will be. But you can actually change that, and here's where the power of WordPress really starts to come in. You can set this up to be a static page where, let's go ahead and create a new, actually, well, this will be a page. Create a new page. Let's create 2 new pages so I can show you how this works. Let's call this one home. And we'll create another one called blog. Add a new page. And blog posts here. Okay, once I've got those set up, now I can go back to my settings and go back to reading. And instead of the latest post, I want to have the static page. I want, whenever somebody comes to the front page of my blog, I want them to see the home page, and I want them to be able to go to the blog page when they want to see the blogs. And the blog page will act exactly like it does on the front page. It'll list all your posts out, and they can click to get further along. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna leave it set to the default for now. Typically this will get handled, and you'll want to set this up, and you'll be directed exactly how to set this up when you install an advanced theme. So when you are displaying blog posts, how many pages at the most? How many on the blog page? We want to show 10, 5, whatever you decide there. Syndication feed, how many items are in your RSS feed? We'll talk a lot about that in the future. For each article in the feed, show full text or summary. Search engine visibility, you can turn off this if this was a private intranet, if this was a, let's say, a private membership site or a project management site, etc. We could turn this off so that the search engines typically wouldn't spider it, but as you can see here, it says it's up to the search engines to honor this request. So we're going to save changes, and we're going to go down to discussion. Now, discussion is comments on your blog posts. Okay, these default article settings, I'm going to go ahead and check all of these. We're going to notify any blogs linked to from this article. We're going to allow link notifications to other blogs, in other words, pingbacks. Allow people to post comments on new articles, yep. Other comment settings, user must be registered and logged in to comment. Let's uncheck that. Automatically close comments older than 1 day. No, we don't need that. Let's say 100 days. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that at all. Enable threaded nested comments. Yes, love that. Break comments into blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyone posts a comment, we'll want to get an email. Anyone comment is held for moderation. So I'm going to get emails anytime somebody comments to start. As soon as that gets overwhelming, I'll turn that off. Before a comment appears, now this is very important, a comment author must have a previously approved comment. So if a brand new person comes to your site, leaves a comment, that first comment needs to get approved before they can comment any further without approval. Now, if you check both of these, every time anybody, no matter what, makes a comment, that has to get approved. Comment moderation, comment blacklists. Okay, so when a comment contains any of these words, URLs, email, or IP, we can mark it as spam immediately. But we've got a Kismet installed, so I'm not going to necessarily worry about that. Avatar display. Let's do a Gravatar logo. Check that right there. And obviously different things that you can select there. I like the Gravatar logo. We're going to save changes. Media. Now, a lot of this, again, is handled with an advanced theme, but when you upload an image, these are the sizes that it will create. You'll have access to for example, an image that you upload. You'll have access to the full size. It'll also create what they call a large size at these settings, 1024 by 1024, a medium size, 300 by 300, and a thumbnail size, 150 by 150. So if you're using one of the installed default themes, this typically these are going to be set to what the default themes required. So I typically don't adjust these unless I'm having an issue. This is important. I organize my uploads into month and year based folders. Very handy for when you're looking for stuff. Now finally we get to permalinks. Very, very important. What I like to do is set this to the post name, and you can see that the custom structure is post name, and they already have it for you, so I'm just going to radio check that. Very, very important. So what it's going to do is whatever my title of the post is, that's going to be the title of the URL. Spaces are going to be replaced by hyphens, and it's going to be very SEO friendly. Love that. You can add a lot of other things to this, but for best SEO practices, I've always understood this to be the best way to go and hasn't failed me yet. So there you have it. There's a rundown of the settings and the best way to set these up for your WordPress site, brand new. Again, when you install an advanced theme, the advanced theme will typically tell you which of these to change, or it will automatically change some of these for you. But suffice it to say that this is the best settings for when you're just getting started. My name is Perry, and you can do anything with WordPress.